Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Social Butterfly. It has been a minute. Got a little solo episode here today. Yeah, it's been a few weeks, maybe a month since I put out an episode. This fall has just been really crazy. We've been really busy, and yeah, honestly, I've just been slacking a little bit, and that's something with this podcast that I want to talk about a little bit today on the solo episode. And I've realized I have not put out an episode since the Life of a Showgirl came out, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I'll give you my most recent rankings, but of course, let's start out with our top 5 things. Today, as I'm recording this, is the finale of Dancing with the Stars. And so my number one thing on my top 5 things list has to be Dancing with the Stars. Oh my gosh, this season, I don't know if it's just the larger number of younger people on this season, or more people are just tuned in, or, some of the pros now are like kind of younger and more, also just more active on social media and TikTok especially. I don't know what it is. But this season has been great. This cast has been great, and the viewership seems like it has been like the biggest it's ever been, and it's just been so much fun. If you're not caught up, even though by the time this episode comes out the finale will be over with, so if you're not caught up, that's kind of on you. I was super shocked by Whitney Levitt from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives going home. She was definitely the best dancer in general. I mean, they put her with Mark Ballas for a reason. She had the talent already, and then with his choreography, wow, she was amazing. I really feel like there's going to be some big things ahead for her, though. I was telling someone I feel like she's going to get the Ariana Madix treatment, and we're going to see her in Chicago on Broadway soon. I feel like her Argentine tango to Cell Block Tango was foreshadowing a little bit. But I am surprised and like bummed that she didn't make it to the finale, because I know that freestyle would have been great. She deserved to be there in the finale. So that was kind of surprising. It's been really interesting, like I said, with the public engagement with this season, how much that has also affected the voting, like Andy Richter staying as long as he did. And then, Whitney going home the week after the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives came out. It all definitely plays a big part in it. And, I don't know. I've gone back and forth on liking her, not liking her. I'm kind of just indifferent now. I don't think she's a bad person by any means, and I really don't think that she deserved to go home just because of that. Or just because of the show, I mean. So that was kind of a bummer, but I am excited to see it. I really want either Alex or Robert to win. I think it's going to be between the two of them. Personally, I would like to see Alex win, just because I followed her for a long time on social media, and just the growth I feel like that this show has given her. Like, it's really showed people that she's an incredibly hard worker and that she was committed to it. I feel like she went in, and I feel like a lot of people were maybe thinking she's not going to take it seriously, or whatever, her work or her going out or her partying or whatever is going to get in the way of it. But she's been so dedicated and has grown so much. Like, she's really good. But I would also be happy to see Robert Irwin win, because he, as someone with absolutely, I think Alex said she danced in high school, but he, as someone with absolutely no dance experience whatsoever, has done amazing. Whitney's done amazing with him. So I'd be happy with either one of them winning. So I'm excited to watch that tonight. And then I have to get a new personality trait because that has been my life for the last 2 months. All right, number 2 on the top 5 list, Hilary Duff. Man, we are so back. If you have not listened to Mature yet, please go do yourself a favor. That is her newest song. This is the first time she has put out new music in 10 years. We have been blessed. And now she just announced she has a full album coming out in February. She's doing some little pop-up shows between now and then, mini tour dates kind of, but I'm really hoping for a full tour once the album comes out, and you bet your ass me and my friend Kendall will be front row there. Oh my god, I've always loved Hilary Duff, but back in the Lizzie McGuire days, and when she first started putting out Metamorphosis and her self-titled Hilary Duff, and oh my god, Most Wanted an album too? Yes, it was. Yes, we loved all of those. Oh my gosh, So I've really been really loving the comeback of Hilary Duff. I've been reading and listening and watching to a lot of her press interviews. After Mature came out, her podcast with Jake Shane was so good. Just been eating up all the content. So loving that. Third thing on my list, kind of related to Dancing with the Stars, kind of not, but the newest season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm not quite through yet. I think I've got, I want to say I have maybe like 3 episodes left. Holy cow, this season is definitely not like what I expected. It's definitely the most interesting out of all the seasons so far. Again, I think, the discourse with like, oh, Whitney only came back for Dancing with the Stars. Like on one hand, I don't fault her for that because obviously she just sees Mom Talk as a business now. But on the other hand, I do also see why some of the girls were upset with the way she did it. I don't think they're mad that she did it or that, that's why she came back. But it sounds, I don't know if maybe she wasn't being genuine about that to start, or maybe they were just annoyed with her leaving, coming back. I'm thinking that's probably it because she was pretty open about, I'm coming back for business opportunities. And you know what? Good on her, whatever. I don't think it was what she wanted to do as much as like how she did it, I'm guessing. But again, that plot, like that storyline to me is so insignificant compared to like Jesse's storyline and like Demi's whatever that is storyline with everything. I do judge Whitney a little bit for being friends with Demi, but also I don't know, I'm someone, and I don't know if it's just because I'm so deeply chronically online, but I feel like when I'm watching shows like that or just like finding out about drama in like a reality space, whether it's the internet or reality TV, whatever it may be, I am always so cognizant of like, okay, but I don't know these people. And we don't know these people, and we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what's going on in real life, anything like that. So always like kind of keeping that in the back of my mind when I watch things. But yeah, this season, I haven't even gotten deep into the storyline with Demi yet, but I know it's going to piss me off. So can't wait for that. But this season is really good. And so really into that right now. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3. Fourth thing, Pinterest. You guys, I've been really back in on my Pinterest shit, and I don't know if it's just because of Christmas time. I've been saving a few things for like decoration ideas or just, kind of the vibes in general, gifts. I'll probably make a couple TikToks with like gift guides. Gift giving is like my number one love language, to give, not to receive. I mean, gifts are always nice, but like that is not my top love language, receiving, but to give, I take a lot of pride in the gifts that I give people. So I'm going to do a couple gift guides on that. So I've been on Pinterest for that. And also I'm planning a little birthday trip to the mountains in January. So if you don't know, my birthday is Christmas Eve. So it's really not conducive to doing anything ever. And so to do anything like between Christmas and Thanksgiving is just a no-go. And then, you want to give yourself enough time for the holidays. But anyway, so mid-January, I'm taking a trip to a cabin in the mountains with my friends, and we're just gonna hang out. I told them bring their books, bring their comfy clothes. I really just want to chill and hang out with them. I'm turning 30, and so I thought that was a good reason to maybe do something a little bit more for my birthday than I'm like used to doing. So yeah, that's what I've been using Pinterest a lot for that too. I made a whole board of like ideas and vibes and themes and photo ideas and all that kind of stuff. So I've been really back on my Pinterest game lately. And the very last thing, fifth thing that I've really been into is hot lattes. And that sounds weird. I'm such an iced coffee girly. I will get iced coffee when it's negative 10 degrees outside. But I feel like I've kind of perfected the hot latte at home anyway. I usually still order iced when I like go get a coffee, but at home, hot lattes have been my jam. Just a little bit of brown sugar and vanilla before you brew the espresso. And then I froth up oat milk with a little bit of the brown sugar oat milk creamer from Trader Joe's, and it hits every time. And I like wake up craving it. So really been into hot lattes too. Little simple thing to end my top 5 things, but there you go. Okay, before we get into anything else on this episode, we need to talk about the life of a showgirl. I still cannot believe that I have not done an episode since that album came out. I could probably do a whole episode just dedicated to it, but I won't do that. But I did want to take a little bit of time, go through what my rankings are now of the 12 tracks, because it has definitely changed in the month and a half, almost 2 months since it's been out. And yeah, just talk about the album. First of all, let me just go through my rankings. Okay, these are my most updated rankings. First, my top song right now is Honey. I really love that song. And I knew I was going to love that song too. When I saw the track list, I'm like, I just know I'm going to like this. So it's Honey, Opalite, Fate of Ophelia. One that has really moved up my list since the album came out, or since I've been listening to it more, is Wish List. Wish List is 4th on my list now. The more I listen to it, the more I just really like it. The same with Ruin the Friendship. At first, that was at the bottom of my list. Ruin the Friendship has gone up quite a bit. It's 5th on my list now. I really like it. And I also really, really like the acoustic version that came out not too long ago. It just like makes the song a little bit softer, and I just love that version of the song. So yeah, that has moved up my list. Actually Romantic is next, which is just a fun song. Eldest Daughter is smack dab in the middle. That's gone down a few spots. Father Figure, Elizabeth Taylor, has also jumped up a couple spots for me. That was at the bottom for me too. Wood, Life of a Showgirl, and then Canceled. Canceled really is like the only one that I will skip if it comes on. But the rest of them, I won't skip any of them. I mean, even though these are like the rankings, wouldn't say like, oh, Life of a Showgirl, second to the bottom. I hate that song. No, I love that song, but it's just, these are the rankings. So that's where I'm at right now. I will say with this album, it's so interesting because, well, okay, let me organize my thoughts here for a second because I have a lot of thoughts about it. First of all, when I first heard it, it was not entirely what I was expecting, but it also was. And let me explain what I mean. So when she first announced it, The Life of a Showgirl, all the press for it, whatever, was glittery, glitzy, glammy, like showgirl, so I definitely expected a pop album. And I didn't fully expect, like, I knew that it probably wouldn't lyrically be entirely what we were used to, especially when the album before this was Tortured Poets Department. So we go from a 34 song double album that everything is like deep, intricate poetic lyrics, Shakespearean level metaphors and writing. And I'm going to stand by that. Are you at the wall on that one? Okay. The girl can write. And then you go to this, and I think people were just really thrown for a loop. I think we thought, even though I think everyone knew it was going to be a pop album, I think they still kind of expected the same deep complexity of lyricism. And I mean, I still think the very first single title, not title track, but the very first single, Fate of Ophelia music video, you still have to look up Hamlet. Like, if you don't know who Ophelia is and the fate of Ophelia, you have to look at or William Shakespeare play to understand it kind of fully. So, I mean, if that still doesn't scream Taylor Swift, like, even though she's giving us a pop song, there's still a Shakespeare reference in there. So, I mean, it is still true to her, but it is definitely a little bit different than I feel like a lot of people were expecting. But once I kind of reminded myself, like, okay, one of the reasons that I love her and a lot of people love her as an artist is because of her, I don't want to say duality because it's more than just two, but her ability to stretch across genres with the music that she makes. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we like her as an artist. So once I kind of got past that, I was like, okay, wait, no, this is good. Like, it's happy, it's fun, it's light, really, like she even said herself, but it's really reminiscent of, I feel like, where she probably is in her life. She's happy, she's engaged. I feel like it's just reminiscent of that, and it's a fun album. Like, it's just a fun album, and I think we all just have to be okay with just like having a little fun. Like, not everything has to be as deep as Tortured Poets or Folklore, Evermore. Like, just let it be what it is. And yeah, I think it's great. I've been bopping to it ever since it came out. I've seen like some other online discourse that I feel like really, I'm not even going to get into it because I've been trying to keep most of it off of my page. And also I feel like if people are interpreting things in bad faith, then you're never going to be able to change their mind. And that's just how it's going to be. So I've seen a lot of discourse in that regard, but overall, I just think it's a fun album. I like it. It is funny though. This is probably one of the first times since being a Swiftie that I've seen like more negative than positive discourse on a project that she put out, on an album she put out. And I was talking to my friend Taylor, who I saw Taylor Swift for the first time with twice actually. And when Taylor and I became friends in college, that was during the Reputation era. And so I was in my, I don't want to say hater era, but like kind of. I wasn't so much like against her as a person. I was just like, I had seen videos of her performing live back then, and I was like, oh, I don't think she's a great performer, which, I mean, who am I to, to say that? But I mean, now that I've seen her live in the Eras Tour, I mean, I also just think vocally her voice has grown a lot stronger as she's gotten older, and that's just natural, whatever. But like, that was kind of my, I don't know why I was in the camp. Also, like, that phone call did get me, okay? It got me for a little bit until I realized it was fake. Anyway, so that's kind of where I was at right then. I wasn't like a huge, like, every second I got Taylor Swift is the worst, but I was not a fan at that moment. And my friend Taylor was. And so I've been talking to her recently, and I was like, is this how people felt when Reputation came out? And she's like, well, even a little bit before that, but like, yeah. So I don't know, maybe it's like a rite of passage as a Swiftie. You just have to go through a period of people not loving her as much as you do, and then, whoever sticks around, I guess, you like make it through the next wave, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've just really been loving the album. I think that there are still like her level of lyrics in there, but I also just think it's fun. I think it's fun that it's about Travis and that she's with someone who makes her want to write happy music like that too. And yeah, no, I think it's really good. So that's where I stand on the Life of a Showgirl. I know you were all dying to hear my analysis, so there it is. But the rest of this album, the rest of this episode, I wanted to talk just a little bit about kind of this past year with this podcast and with like social media and content creation in general and what I've been doing with everything. I told myself at the beginning of this year that I was setting a goal for myself to try to post every day on TikTok just because I wanted to. First of all, I just really like making videos. That is like my job in real life, is like social media and making videos and content. So I enjoy doing it in general, but I just wanted to like set that goal for myself and see if I could do it. And for the most part, aside from maybe a handful of days, like one sprinkled here and there, I've done it. And it's November now. So I'm really proud of myself for that. And I will say though, I have learned it's kind of hard, especially when I'm not just like doing a trending sound and then posting it, or I'm not just, doing a lip sync or like a quick little thought dump, pointless video. I mean, some of them are pointless for sure, but some of them, I'm doing vlogs, I'm doing unboxings, get ready with me's where I have to edit them, and that takes some time, especially, let's say I'm filming my morning routine and like I'm doing makeup too. That's sometimes like 15-20 minutes of footage depending on how long I let the camera run for. And so then editing through that takes time. It takes a lot of time. And so between that and then with this podcast, I know I've talked about it a little bit before, but I was just listening to Taylor and Taylor Lautner's podcast, The Squeeze. That's one that's like in my regular rotation. And they were talking about starting a podcast really isn't like a part-time gig if you want to be like fully committed doing it every week. And I think I just didn't realize how much work it would be. I feel like I realized pretty quickly that like, oh, okay, this is not going to be a weekly thing for me because I work a normal job and have, responsibilities and a life. And so I realized pretty quickly it wasn't going to happen every single week. But then it got to be even doing it every other week is a lot because, I talk about when I'm filming a TikTok, if I have like 15 minutes of footage, it can take me almost an hour to edit through that and everything. Recording this, and like this time around, or this particular episode is audio only just because I don't have my video equipment with me. But I record for almost an hour a lot of the times. And so editing that takes a couple hours, And I will be the first to admit, it's just more than I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. I mean, you just have to, it's a learning curve and you just learn as you go. But I feel like as my frequency of recording episodes dwindled down, I feel like I was saying a lot. And even, I mean, I'm kind of saying it now, but it's more so to explain, it's a lot of work. I've been busy. It's a lot of work. I've been busy. And I feel like overall, what I've learned is I just kind of need to take the pressure off of myself. But at the same time, how often can I say I'm taking the pressure off till it doesn't become a relevant thing anymore? You know what I mean? And so whenever I was saying that, it's not like I was trying to make myself feel better, but maybe subconsciously I was. But I was more so just being candid, like, hey, this is why there isn't an episode out. But I've kind of come to the realization that, like, okay, if I want this to be something, which what do I want it to be? I don't know. I think at the start I said I just want it to be a place of connection, and I stand by that, and I still mean that. But I would love to like branch out with guests and maybe start to have more, people who are on social media on, or people who can talk more about like connection and just our relationship as humans to each other. But like I need to lock in a little bit if I want to do that. So I'm hoping, with this year coming to an end, since I hadn't put out an episode in like a month and a half, I think, I even was saying to myself, like, okay, maybe I'll just call this first season a wrap and start again in the new year. But I wanted to see it through the whole year. I started this in February. So I want to do at least 2 or 3 episodes before the end of this calendar year and really finish it out strong. And then come back with a season 2 next year. This whole year has just been, I feel like, a really interesting year as far as like setting goals for myself and learning things in terms of, this content creation space. I hesitate to call myself a content creator because that feels like one jump away from calling myself an influencer. And I am most certainly not that, but in the most general sense of the term, I am a content creator because I am creating content. Even if it's for, the 15 people who listen to this podcast, or if it's for my 400 some followers on TikTok, also not a lot. But I'm creating the content and I'm putting it out there, and I'm having a lot of fun while I'm doing it, especially with the TikTok side. This podcast is just something that I'm like proud of myself for starting, even though it's kind of been a rocky start to stay consistent with, just because I've been talking about it for so long and I finally did it, and I'm proud of myself for that. But I want to put more of a conscious effort and discipline into it in the coming year. And so hopefully I'm able to do that and stick to that a little more. It's also not interesting, but just, I don't know, maybe it is interesting to me. I've been talking a lot about, I turn 30 next month, and some people I talk to about, they're like, oh, 30, like, are you scared about that? Or how do you feel about that? And I will say, and I'll talk more about this, I want to do like a 30 things I've learned before 30 episode next month. But I will say that, when I turned 26, I feel like I had a little bit of a breakdown, I will say. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm 26. This is like my late 20s. I'm practically 30 spiral, whatever. But now I feel like as I've gotten older, and this is why I say it's like interesting that I've kind of embarked on all these things where I'm sharing more of myself, I guess, and being a little bit more vulnerable, because like I know that people I know who maybe aren't my immediate like friends or family see my videos and might even listen to my podcast and might be judging it one way or another, or might really like it. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's really none of my business. But I feel like I got to the point where I'm like, okay, if people are consuming this, it's really not a lot of my business, whether obviously you want people to like it, but at the end of the day, if I'm doing it for the intentions I set for myself, which is doing it for myself, then at the end of the day, I can't care what people think about it. Truly. All that to say, I just think it's interesting that I started doing all of this in my 29th year of life, because I have heard a lot of people, as I've gotten older and gotten closer to my 30s, a lot of people saying like your 30s are better than your 20s. You're more secure in yourself. You're more confident in yourself. You don't care as much what other people say or think about you, which is a huge thing for me, because if you know me at all, I care very much what other people say and think about me. And I'm working on that. I really feel like this year, with doing this content creation with TikTok and with this podcast, it's almost been like exposure therapy to get over that. Because if I was sitting and constantly thinking like, well, I'm not getting the likes, I'm not getting the followers, I'm not getting the listens right away, I'm just going to give up because obviously people hate it. Like, what a disservice that would be to myself to continue creating and putting something out that I enjoy doing, and to be able to share myself and my thoughts in the way that I am really enjoying doing. And so I think just going on that journey to coincide with almost turning 30, there's just something very kismet about that, because I now am very excited about turning 30. I'm excited to see where this growth that I've been having, that I can finally kind of say, oh wow, yeah, I've grown, because I'm noticing myself not thinking about things the way that I would have before, and recognizing that. I'm just excited to see where it goes now that I am getting older, and like I said, I care a little bit less. Obviously, there's part of you that always will care when you're putting something out into the world, especially when you're talking. It's easy to put together a vlog with music over it that has no clips of me speaking to the camera. That's a lot easier than doing a get ready with me and having to come up with things to say, as if I don't always have things to say, but to like quantify it into like a storytelling, like sequence in which people are going to actually watch it. That's a little bit different than just mindless yapping. But even so, sitting there talking to a camera, that's a vulnerable thing to do. Sitting here talking to a microphone or, a camera when I do a video episode is a vulnerable thing to do. And I think that I'm more okay with it because I know my intentions behind it, and I know for a fact that I'm doing it for me. And even if only my husband is the only one listening to it, I know that I'm putting something out in the world that I feel good about and that feels authentic to me, and something that I have been wanting to do a long time, and that I finally got up the courage to do. If no one else thinks it, I think it's brave of me, and I'm proud of myself for it. But I'm also just really looking forward to seeing how it grows, especially now that I've kind of worked out some of the kinks as far as knowing how much work this truly is. And it's not so much of like, oh, it's a lot of work, okay, I need to step back, but more so like, okay, it's a lot of work, but if I want to keep doing this, I'm going to have to put in a little bit of work, and I'm going to have to be disciplined with it. And so I'm excited to see where this continues on once we go into a new year. So like I said, I want to do at least 2 more episodes before the end of the year. So 2 episodes in December, and one of them will definitely be birthday themed. Another one I would like to have another guest on before the end of the year, but we'll see. People get busy, man. I mean, I say I'm busy to do this. Other people are busy too. Life is nuts. And I feel like that also, between this experience and just knowing how busy other people are, has taught me to also have a lot of grace, not only for myself, but for other people. It's not like they're shrugging something off or slacking off or not being a good friend or not committing or whatever, but they're busy, and you have to give everybody grace for that. Didn't mean to drop that deep of knowledge here at the end of the episode, but there you go. Take that with you. So we'll have a couple more episodes in this first season of Social Butterfly before the year comes to an end. Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for being on this journey with me this year. It's been very sporadic and a little inconsistent, but it's been fun, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So again, thank you for listening. You can find Social Butterfly on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and of course, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Bye.